I'd like to call this meeting of Newberry Township Supervisors together. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, at this time I want to announce. So now we're going to move on to public comment. All public comments shall be delivered from the podium by registered individuals, residents, or taxpayer. The time allowed for an agenda item is 5 minutes. Otherwise, it's 3 minutes for a non-agenda matter. And I guess we'll start with the first one, Matthew Costello. Not here tonight? Okay. All right, we're going to move on. Bob Gaswint.
Bob, come on up.
Yes, it's 5 minutes.
Here representing, as most of you know, the Redland Senior Center. I'd like to express on behalf of the Board of Directors your continued support to our center. As you know, that we are in a state of transition, but things are going well. And I might add that hopefully next month when I come back here, that I will have for you the best news of the Senior Center in its 50 years.
Oh.
So don't miss it. We would like to have everybody here. Saturday's our first chicken barbecue. That's a big moneymaker for us. And we are also looking and are in need of an outside storage area. So I'm going to say probably a 12 by 20. So if anyone has any ideas, give the center a call, give me a call. But we will definitely need an outside storage area.
What is that for?
What are you gonna?
Well, we store, quite honestly, a lot of our paper products in there that we use in the center on a daily basis, and then also for our barbecues. Seasonal things.
So you said outside though, so an inside area outside your building is what you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, we need a roof over it. Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions? Okay. See you next month, hopefully.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks,
Good
Bob.
news.
If you see me after the meeting or reach out to me, I might be able to help you out with something for that. We can discuss what your
You're
needs
right
are.
around the corner from me.
Okay.
I can stop, Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Of the community that we're no longer allowed to ask questions after these public comments. I would request the board relook at that because a lot of this stuff that comes up later on in the meeting have never heard anything about, and it's simple questions. And I understand sometimes it's like, just for instance, the sewer gets beat down and beat down and beat down. We don't need to hash the same thing over and over again. But some of these items we've never heard about, and it's just simple questions or clarifications we're looking for at that time. So I would like to ask the board to reconsider what they've done and allow us to have some comments or brief discussions on it before you guys actually vote. Thank you.
Connie Flasher.
I have several items. I have a few for the agenda items as well, but I'll do the non-agendas at the moment. First of all, I called Friday, asked my name to be on the agenda. Dave was in the office and said that he couldn't do it. I noticed tonight there's names that were already put on there before mine, and I had asked her to send me what she had in reference to the 30 days extension that she requested that I give her to file my right to know. I'm a little concerned about this constantly trying to push all of us in the corner and the transparency that you're trying to keep away from the public, and I'm starting to get really annoyed with that. My next appointment, or my next opinion is the manager. How could you appoint a manager who can't be bonded? It states it in the second-class township. It's also a part of his contract that he needed to be bonded. Well, obviously, he's not here tonight. He's not bonded. He can't perform the functions of a manager. Did you indeed do your due diligence in looking at the candidates, interviewing the candidates, doing background checks, doing drug screenings, and all the things that you need to do to hire a manager? Well, it certainly doesn't appear that you have. The third thing is the zoning officer. Nobody was aware that you were appointing another zoning officer. That was never an advertised position. Why do we need 2 officers? We already had one. So now we appoint another one. It's on the agenda with a contract, or with a resolution. So we're going to pay for 2 zoning officers, and what's the point of that? If the current one was not doing his job, then there are remediations to that. You don't just turn around and hire another firm at $100 or $125 an hour to take the place of the one that you already have on staff and pay for 2 of them. Again, I asked, did you check previous employers? The manager was with one municipality, which I'm very aware of, for 5 years, and the other one for 3. How extensive is his managerial experience? And he should have known that he needed to be bonded. If he couldn't have been bonded, then he shouldn't have applied for the job. The other thing is the HR influence that you use to hire him. They're an arm of a law firm, McKees, Wallace, and Nurek. They actually own that company. So I hope that they don't do work in the township as well, because that could be a conflict of interest if we're using them to hire managers who aren't qualified for the job. Not quite sure why the right to know is taking a lot longer, because they were
We have
things.
7 minutes, just letting you know.
How many?
7.
7? I'm at 7?
I'm sorry.
Now that you've taken up 2?
Go ahead. You got 10 seconds. Thank you.
All right. Well, now that you've messed me up here. The new administrative vehicle that's been seen around the township this week, doing things, checking hydrants and whatever, was that something that we had, or was that just
Your
purchased?
time is up. I'm sorry.
Well, it wasn't. If it was just purchased, was it in the budget and discussed? Because I'd like to know the cost of that. That'll be on my next right to know.
Can we answer that question to her? That's just a car they used, right?
Yeah, that's a township car. It's been in the township for
The equipment I'm talking about.
the
No, that's
equipment.
Rudy's, Bill's equipment.
That belongs to the,
Township engineer's equipment?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know, because it was $10,000.
They just used our car.
$10,000 expenditure I'm gonna ask about.
Tony?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tony Miller, 115 St. Andrews Way. I have public comment for 3 minutes, and then I have a couple agenda items I want to talk about. First off, without talking my own, if Connie was talking about agenda item with the code, she should have been given 5 minutes, not 3. So I kind of resonate with Brian's point of view that it's frustrating that you've changed all of a sudden since January that we cannot speak and give public comment on an agenda item when it's being voted on in motion, especially since it's laid out that way in the public participation policy. And so a good example is tonight, I'm going to spend time asking about the collective bargaining agreement, but instead you could just be explaining it under the agenda item, and I could save myself and you a lot of time of redundancy and just maybe take the questions I have that you didn't answer at that time. So, so the other part of my public comment is I sent an email last week to Mr. Abadalo asking for an in-person meeting. I received a response from the Supervisor Schwartz, and he said he was on leave, and the Supervisor Schwartz was covering it in his absence to ensure emails don't go unanswered. He stated he didn't have a definite timeline for when he would return, and couldn't guarantee he'd be here before the next meeting. So what type of leave is he on?
Paid administrative leave.
Okay. How long's he been on leave?
3 weeks? About 3 weeks? Is that right?
I can't hear you. So if he's on paid leave, he has a laptop that he has VPN access to do his emails and actually work as if he's working on his, I had that, he has that. So why is the supervisor answering his email if he's being paid? I thought so. Okay, thank you. That's all my public comment. So the first agenda item, I'm trying not to be too redundant about Ms. Flasher talking about the zoning officer, but I understand that Mr. Kinney was engaged sometime early in February, from the best I can tell, as zoning officer. I'm pleased that you're finally following due process to officially appoint him, which is required by our code and by law. I haven't seen anything about how much he's getting paid. She threw a number out, but what is he getting paid per hour? You don't know?
I don't know the exact dollar. It's around 105. He's not getting paid. Panoni is.
He's getting paid $105 an hour.
Not him. Not him. The firm he works for is.
He works for Panoni, right? So you're paying Panoni $105 an hour for every hour he works, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so, all right. So why was the decision never discussed or approved in an open meeting prior to tonight? I mean, this is specifically you're engaging with a third-party contractor, Panoni. Our engagement agreement with Panoni is for engineering services. Zoning officer responsibilities are not engineering services. And even though we have an engagement agreement with Panoni for engineering services, you still correctly vote, as you did in the last meeting, for services outside of that agreement in open meetings, such as traffic studies, when you ask Bill to do a traffic study or whatever. I just think this is just another representation of lack of transparency of this board since January. So I applaud you for finally doing due process. Second agenda item is the fee schedule. This is a quick one. I looked at the fee schedule that was posted on the website. Why are we going back to the fee schedule of 2022 or 2023? We had Bill do an extensive search and research on local municipalities of what they had fees, and we raised them. It was a unanimous vote in 2024. The fee schedule that's now on the website and the one that's posted with the resolution is going back a couple of years. It's old.
So that was erroneously posted, so we're going to table that tonight till we can repost it correctly.
Okay, all right. So, I mean, that was my point. I was like, I didn't understand it at all. All right. So if you would permit me to speak while you talk about the collective bargaining agreement, I won't go on and ask probably my litany of questions I have about it. But if you insist, I'll do it now.
Do it now. This is your chance for public comment.
Okay. Okay. So Friday, I sent just so everybody knows, I sent an email to the board requesting them to post it because it wasn't posted so that the public could review it. And I didn't even receive a response from any of you. So, and please don't take this, Officer Bloom or anyone, because I question and ask what's in it. It doesn't mean that I don't like the police, okay? So since the proposed contract wasn't posted, I'm going to have to ask some questions. And just from what I knew, what the negotiations that were going on last year when I was still here. So what are the salary increases for the patrolmen, and what's the length of the contract?
That's personnel.
Is it okay to answer these?
Personnel.
Is the agreement getting approved tonight?
Yeah.
You can say they're proposed. You can tell them, I mean, it's up to you whether you want to answer.
The proposed increases are 4% a year.
And how many years?
It's a 5-year contract.
So we were negotiating all along for 4 years, and now you added a year?
Yes.
What's the benefit to the township to do a 5-year contract?
It just extends, it just avoids us gives us another year of not negotiating a contract and locks us in.
Let me just,
Hold the timer, please.
behind closed doors, what you just talked about.
Yeah.
You don't, then you're not, you do not need to address that.
All right, so I can't address that.
Okay, so the police were asking in a negotiation last year for sergeant pay to be increased 10% over patrolman's wages. Is that,
Do not answer that question.
We can't answer anything that involves the negotiation.
so you're going to vote on it tonight and we
Mr.
can't?
Miller, I believe that you're talking about things that were negotiated while you were manager of the township, correct? Behind closed doors with collective bargaining? They were not negotiated in public? Is that correct?
Yes.
I guess you could say that.
Well, I'm not, you don't have to guess. That you did. So are you talking about things that were done in your professional capacity as manager?
I would have to say yes.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Time is up, I'm sorry.
so you're not going to tell us? That's what you're going to, thank
I
you.
was looking at the reports and I seen no manager's report. So I'm safe to say there is not one that I missed or did not get posted.
That's correct.
Thank you, Aaron. Okay. 2, I believe that public comment should be permitted in accordance with the guidelines outlined in Section G regarding public comment, especially when an agenda